Depuyt about the issues Congress faces.
Well, I do expect that the continuing resolution will pass, that government will be funded, but I think it goes back to a more fundamental issue, and that is, why do we end up at these crisis points instead of getting the job done well prior to this time? And as you know, Bruce, I've been an advocate to make sure that we get all 12 appropriations bills done well before the end of September. In fact, I think it's ridiculous that Congress goes home for 5 weeks in August with all this work left to be done. I've been an advocate to say, let's stay in Washington. Wrote the Speaker this time, said, we know what we need to do. Let's stay in Washington, get these appropriations bills done so we don't end up at this last-minute crisis management. And as you know, we're only going to go another 3 months, so there has to be a longer-term budget deal. We know how harmful continuing resolutions are to those folks that work in the agencies, to those folks that do contract work for the government. At every level, as I talk to folks throughout my district, they say, Rob, get on the path of getting things done with some certainty and with some regularity, and not budgeting through these ridiculous continuing resolutions that just create uncertainty. They also don't allow us to move things forward. It's not the way to run business here on Capitol Hill. It's not the way to run our federal government. It's not the way any private businesses run their business. So we have to fundamentally change how Congress operates.
Why?
That must be our charge.
Why do we find ourselves in this posture? What happened to what sometimes people refer to as regular order, the regular budgeting and appropriations process? We've been promised that will return, and yet we get the promises but not the reality, if you will, no delivery. Can you, as someone who's there and has the relationships and knows what's happening on the inside, can you sort of fill us in, help us understand where the breakdown is?
Sure. Well, it's up to members to push leadership to make sure we stick to regular order and that we get our job done. That's why I've been so vocal with leadership to say we can't leave town in August knowing these things we have to get done without getting appropriations bills done. We need to get a budget done on time. April 15th needs to be the time we get the budget done. If not, members of Congress shouldn't be paid. Bruce, we have to fundamentally change how Congress operates, and ultimately it's up to members of Congress to get the leadership to do the right things. We must stand to fundamentally change how Congress operates. It starts with the members like myself and others saying, let's get this done. Let's make sure our leaders do what members say needs to be done.
Are you worried about what happens in December when the same situation we face now presumably returns?
Well, it could. That's why it's incumbent upon our leaders to start on issues now. I do believe there's some conversations about what a budget deal would look like, what should be in a budget deal. Those conversations have started. I want to make sure they get done well before December 11th so the body can have the discussion, the debate about what we need to do, and then get a bill passed on time so we don't end up with this last-minute brinksmanship that frustrates all of us. We know what we have to do. Let's get it done. And you can see all